Hello, everybody. Welcome to another TIMBP live on this gloomy-ish Thursday evening here in Kentucky. I'm very excited to be hanging out with you guys tonight, drink some bourbon, and even get to welcome in a special guest. Uh, he'll be in here in just a second. First off, I want to say hello to everybody who's watching the replay as well. If you have not been able to catch the main live stream as it is happening. Appreciate everybody who drops back in to check in on that. Hello, everybody in the stream. Clifton from Bourbon Bites is here. He is all the way in Las Vegas. He's getting ready to set up his stream right after we are finished here. Don Nishida, all the way in Hawaii. Brian Brennicky, hello. I almost said Don Nishida again. Danny's Candies. He said, hello, fellow Bourbon Knights. Danny, welcome to the show. I think you're a first timer here. Nick Foles, Robot Scott, and of course, Trev Wilson, the handsome, handsome man that he is. Thank you all so much for being here. Appreciate you guys. And without further ado, let's welcome in our very special guest. You know him from his many appearances on This Is My Bourbon podcast, as well as being the alter ego of Tim Bourbons. Please welcome the host of It's Bourbon Night, or one half of the host of It's Bourbon Night, Chadwick Perkins. Chad?
Yeah, we're back! Okay, everybody. I turned down my mic for that. I'm sure it was still probably pretty loud. But
it didn't come through too bad. So
good.
But I appreciate your enthusiasm regardless.
Well, yeah, you kind of started like welcome back to the Quiet Storm.
Sweaty balls style.
Barry Ritter and I'm trying to get the energy up.
We'll get the energy back up. Yeah, I like the kind of like at least leaning into maybe like a Mr. Rogers style, like, intro at least. But as you get a couple drinks in you, then things kind of loosen up a bit. But
it's true.
It is what it is. Chad, first off, it's good to see you. We have not seen each other in person in like 3 months.
It's true. I know. Yeah, it's the thing, and
it's quite bizarre. But yeah. I'm very happy to get to virtually hang out with you for a little bit,
same.
I guess.
Same.
We have a few things lined up to drink tonight. I suggested a few things that I basically knew you were going to have, and also things I feel like maybe we haven't had as much of recently, potentially. Because like the first one, I was going, when's the last time he probably had that? Right? So I figured we'd start with E.H. Taylor Small Batch.
Great.
So we'll go ahead and get that poured up in just a second. Danny's Candy says that Chad has had some of Danny's candies.
And they are quite good.
Are they Danny's candies?
They are actually, yes.
That's a mouthful, indeed.
I'm jumping into the live here, so I can see the chat. Realized I wasn't looking at the chat.
There we go. Don said Perry's sporting a nice tan. Thank you. What you're not seeing is the severe burning that I have on my shoulders and upper body. But I appreciate your kind words for my pain.
Well, it's a stark contrast to my quarantine and general paleness.
I was surprised, and I don't know if this was the same for you. I feel like I didn't put on too much whiskey weight during quarantine.
Yeah, same. I think that was probably purposeful because, you're watching a lot of Netflix and you're ordering, delivery a lot, and you just kind of think something's got to give. So maybe tone it down on the whiskey a little bit, but we've also, the yearning to get outside has made Sarah and I go on a lot of walks. So, getting that exercise. I started wearing my Fitbit again, which I take off because I think it looks kind of dorky, to be honest with you. But, I've been hitting my 10,000 steps and all that jazz, or a little bit more.
Good for you.
So, yeah,
I know you guys have been doing a lot of yard work as well.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
So the classic, of course, I almost said EH Taylor barrel proof, which is
Oh,
very
oh wow.
a solid 30 proof points off, but a little small batch.
Little small batch action. Yeah.
I consistently feel like I go back to this as one of those where it's like, this is what, if somebody asked me what bourbon tastes like,
Mm-hmm.
Taylor small batch is one of those where I would use it as an example. Thank you for also displaying your bottle in the same manner that I have.
Yeah, I think it was it's a good bourbon.
I don't know
Everyone
what to
out
do with
there
my hands right now.
really drank it well. Glass handled really good. Everyone had a lot of fun.
That classic Chad Witt there.
Ah, well.
Eric said no carbs in bourbon.
Yeah, but there are sugars.
There are calories. Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
for sure.
Donnie over at the Linux Cat. Hello, Donnie. Asked, "How was my vacation? My vacation was splendid. It was strange coming back to rain and temperate conditions. We went from basically days of anywhere from 90 to 95 to 75 to 80. So
Poor you.
it was awful.
Yeah.
It was a real, I felt real bad every second that I was there.
Why do people on radio shows constantly play with this? Like it's just like it's making any dip. I mean, yeah, I guess maybe if you slouch down, you could
Trying to bring
sit
it with
up.
you. Yeah.
But it's like leave it alone. I feel like it's a real almost like OCD thing.
See, with my mic, like, I mean, I feel like I need to move it a little bit more because it's more unidirectional. But like, if you've got an omnidirectional mic, I don't feel like you don't need to
do all that
need to
moving.
be that
I don't know.
fidgety
It's
with
just something that I noticed.
Something you've noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fair enough. How about that Joe Rogan though?
Yeah,
He's really putting the squeeze on all of us podcasters out there. Anyway, so I reached out to my patrons over at patreon.com/this/my bourbon podcast. I definitely almost said /it's bourbon night.
hey, that's fine. Yeah,
That's fine.
Let's plug that.
We'll have plenty of time for plugs later on as well.
Okay.
I wanted to get them involved, asking you questions, finding out a little bit more about you. Hence why it's called Getting to Know Chad Perkins of It's Bourbon Night.
I didn't put that together.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I'm really good with the, anyway, I wanted to do something different though, because everybody's heard what's your first whiskey memory, or what's the bourbon that you remember the most, or what's yada yada. So for the most part, these questions are not bourbon related.
What will we talk about?
Well, that's been left up to the patrons to decide, and they've got some humdingers.
Oh boy,
let me tell you. Our first one comes from Darren Wright. He said, if you could only watch one for the rest of your life, South Park or Family Guy?
I would say Family Guy, because I think South Park, especially in later seasons, gets a little preachy. I kind of like the irreverence of Family Guy, how it kind of bounces around to things. In South Park, it's really good, but I feel like some episodes, they make you feel like if you don't feel the way that we feel about this opinion, then you're just dumb.
I can get on board with that. I have more experience having watched Family Guy, because there was a period, I think it was probably like with most college students, either freshman or sophomore year of college. Like if I wasn't doing homework or going to class, that was basically all I did, was just watching Family Guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched a lot of Family Guy for a long time.
Well, it's rewatchable. Yeah.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I still prefer American Dad, though. Yes.
Really?
I prefer American Dad.
That's first person I've ever heard say that.
And potentially the last.
Oh, wow.
I am sure I'm in the minority.
Is this still on? It moved to TBS, right? Or new episodes?
I don't know where the new episodes are coming out.
I know it moved to TBS from Fox. I think it got canceled as many times as Family Guy got canceled.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah.
Sure it did. Robot Scott says Archer, though.
Archer or Bob's Burgers?
Bob's Burgers.
Which vehicle do you like your John Benjamin served up in?
That is.
I would also say Bob's Burgers. Yeah.
Have you heard H. John Benjamin's album "I Can't Play Piano"?
No, I have heard of it. I know of it.
Maybe it's Jazz Daredevil. Maybe that's the name of the album. I think that's it, because he's sitting in front of a piano dressed as Evel Knievel.
Ah.
It's amazing. It's really, really fantastic.
Nice.
Go listen to it. It's some good stuff. Don Nishida asks, you can give up bourbon for the rest of your life, but everything else stays the same. Or you keep drinking bourbon, but you must do one of the following for life. A, go vegan. B, go bald and no beard. C, work at a 9-to-5 desk job. Or D, never wear flannel again. It started at like a level 10, and then it kind of took a nosedive.
Well,
right.
I do love wearing me some flannel, but I think it would have to be the flannel thing, because I can find other patterns that I enjoy.
Have you heard of gingham? Because
yeah, absolutely. You could just buy a bunch of gingham and go work at OBC Kitchen, because that's what they wear.
That is true. Mm-hmm. I'd work at OBC.
Yeah,
I'd be happy with that. Iverson, if you're out there, hit me up. Chris in the chat, also hello, Chris. I think I saw Lil in here as well.
Oh yeah, hello.
He asked, has Chad watched Yellowbeard yet? The Monty Python movie. Isn't that Monty Python?
Oh, I remember that suggestion. I have not.
I've not seen it either.
Thanks for reminding me. I need to see where that is. I'll look it up right now. We're going to watch it.
I'm going to guess Amazon Prime.
We shall see.
We shall indeed. Patrick said, no flannel, there goes your PNW pass. Pacific Northwest? Is that what that is? PNW?
That's a good guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say so.
We'll find out.
1983. Oh yeah, Cheech and Chong.
Oh, is that Cheech and Chong? Okay.
Yeah.
Donnie also asks, did Chad write, sing, and perform the music in the old theme song?
I did. Yes. Yes, I sure did. Well, not all of the music. One of my buddies, Chuck, I told him the chord progression and the key I wanted to be in, and but he, through computers, made the music, and I sang to it. But yeah, because I can play some instruments, but piano isn't one of them, and yeah. I've noodled around a little bit with like how to play that on guitar or something, because that was actually a request back in our 50K Q&A video, was to do a performance of the song, a live performance. And I started working on it, and yeah, I don't know. I might have to get you to help me with it, Barry.
I'll be able to help you with that.
Yeah.
We never, I don't know if we ever talked about this publicly, but you and I had worked at one point on.
Well, it'll happen this year.
Okay, good.
For sure. We already know that we can do it.
That is
we'll
true.
do it earlier.
We need to I'll have to practice it a little bit again. But
yeah, for sure. No, it'll be, we'll do it in like I don't know, a couple months. So then we're just ready to hit that release button.
I would appreciate that because I'm about 4 months away from being pretty well occupied
for 18 years.
Well, that's not. I'm gonna go very gray very quickly. Bill asked, "Is it me or is Perry pretty quiet?" I'll turn my audio up just a hair. There we go. That should help. I saw another question floating around in here. Joseph, that's what it was. Joseph Brazo asked, "Is Chad Perkins the absolute whitest guy name ever?"
No,
it's not. That's John Smith.
If it was like Chaddington, Chaddington Bartlesby, I think that's much wider. Yeah, and I'm not just a Chad. I am a Chadwick. A little cooler. There's lots of Chads out there. A lot fewer Chadwicks.
Hey, Rarebird 101's in the chat.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, Dave Jennings. I am so looking forward to getting into your book this weekend.
Oh, yes.
I am so excited.
The book.
Yes, indeed. Bill said way better, so good deal. I love this question from Chris. Will Chad never try to do an Aussie accent again?
Will I never not try?
I imagine it will happen again at some point in the future.
Well, it'll for sure happen now. It's on my mind. I just have a couple more drinks. In fact, I'm empty.
Oh, I can be empty. I'll be empty.
Yeah.
Speaking of Rarebird 101, it's a good time for us to move on to our next drink, which is actually a Russell's Reserve single barrel. Now, I imagine that I have a different single barrel chosen from you.
I imagine.
I mean, I have an actual pick.
I have a pick. Well,
what pick is yours?
I didn't have a non-pick at the moment. So,
yeah, I don't think I've ever actually owned
really
a non-pick version of Russell's Reserve single barrel.
Wow.
Oh well. Let me grab another glass. I forgot to point out, by the way, that I was drinking out of my It's Bourbon Night Glencairn.
Ooh.
Which you can find at whiskeyambitions.com.
That's true.
For anybody who is interested.
You can do that.
I imagine that about 50%, maybe 85% of the people who are in here at the moment are here because they wanted to see your beautiful face for a second time during the week. Because this is basically I've never had 33 people in a live stream before.
Well,
so,
I got
and now it's down to 32.
They're leaving. I got a haircut finally, so it's
it doesn't look like you trimmed your beard up though.
No, I haven't. Probably gonna have to do that by Saturday. I'm going to a wedding. Sarah is the matron of honor.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be a small wedding, of course, because of rules. But
of course.
It's a big church, so people can sit 6 feet apart, and under 50 people.
Indeed.
But she's the matron of honor, so I need to be there. So I will. Yeah, I guess I'll trim it down.
May as well.
Or I could put a rubber band in it.
Oh.
Who in here remembers Captain Lou Albano?
He was
wait for the delay, and then
I remember. I kind of remember him.
He had like rubber bands. I think they might have been attached to things, though, somehow.
That sounds
right. Yeah, WWF. There you go. That's right, Matt.
Steven is waiting for a Perry Pork Glencairn.
And Don Nishita?
We're working on it.
Yeah. Okay. See? So Cyndi Lauper, exactly. Girls just want to have fun. That's right. The only Captain Trev knows is himself. Fair enough.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Fan-freaking-tastic,
Mm,
as I like to say. How about another question from the Patreon?
let's do it.
We got a twofer from Tammy Brennicky. First, if I could read, first question
We
is,
going on the B side first?
yeah, we're going to the B side
Okay.
because we got to save it for the main single. I mean,
True.
it's all about the build-up.
Mm. Wait for the drop.
Tammy asks, besides bourbon, photography, movie watching, and video production, what are your favorite hobbies/activities?
I don't think I've really let this out of the bag because I haven't had any reason to it. But I love playing ping pong, and I don't get to do it very much now. But back when I worked at a place that I used to work, there was a ping pong table, and I got a lot of people. Not a lot of people. There was, a small group really into it, and man. We had some battles. I love ping pong. I could just a night full of ping pong and bourbon.
Oof. The games get either quicker or looser towards the end of it. And...
Well, I have a table here. It's just not set up very often.
Yeah, it's either tucked away in the corner or covered in bourbon.
Exactly. But a couple years ago, have those people from work over and we would play, and the loser would have to take a shot of, usually it was benchmark. Now we've discovered new things that would be worse than having to take a shot of benchmark, but you would literally have to take a shot in a shot glass, which is, that's tough for any bourbon, even bourbons that you love. If you were forced to
that is true,
an ounce and a half or even just a full ounce, just knock it back. You don't enjoy it like you do sipping.
No.
But then you factor in something that's not so great. And yeah.
That is true. Brian Brennicky said, Chad, the table tennis hustler.
Mm-hmm. I will take on any of you fools.
Bottled and Bond said that means he's good at beer pong.
Well, you don't use a paddle in beer pong. But I do know the feel of the ping pong ball, so I can... and get usually.
Trev Wilson asked, do you use your Flexolite ping pong paddle?
I love using my Flexolite ping pong paddle. It's just a little white lie. Didn't hurt nobody. That's from Forrest Gump, right? Flexolite?
I think so.
Yeah.
I like this question from Don Nishida. Does Chad have an awkward young love story as great as Perry's John Mayer story?
No, Perry takes the cake. And I haven't talked to you off air since that to get that full story. Was it someone that we both know?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
It would be shocking if it were.
Yeah, that makes it less interesting, but still, I want to hear the full thing. Let me try to think if I have a awkward young love story.
It takes a lot to one up the buying a girl at 13 years old a single ticket to a John Mayer concert.
So I can't remember if you said this or not, but why the single ticket? Was it a money thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the last what did I think it was the last $100 I had, or last $50 or something, which at that time,
maybe the only first.
Yeah. Well, it's still not, you get $100, you're like, oh my gosh, it's $100. But at that time when you're 13, it's nothing to sniff at.
Right.
And so I was really just laying all my cards on the table. And let me tell you, I really shouldn't have gambled that. I should not have gone all in.
Do a dramatic reenactment of how that went down when Perry asked said girl, "Hey girl, how would you like to go?" And I mean you, just as you, to go see John Mayer again by yourself, because there's only one ticket, but I'm giving you that ticket. My name's Perry.
Okay, first off, she knew who I was.
Oh, okay.
Because we said
again, I'm the guy who sits next to you in lunch.
We
or
were
whatever,
no. We sat next to each other
in health class,
in band class.
band class.
Uh-huh. Um, golly, I don't want to do any more of this on it.
Fair
No,
enough. Fair enough.
fine. Jeez. I'll give a little bit more information. We got a lot of Patreon questions to get through, but um, it was for Valentine's Day. I wrote her a sweet little note, and I dropped it in her locker, and then I ran away. And
Did she go to the concert?
yes,
Did she thank you?
when she got the ticket, I am getting so many PTSD.
All right, all right, all right, all right. You're in a safe
I'm
place.
sorry. It's
Put your down.
unlocking memories and feelings that I forgot I
You're in the
had.
treasury. You're fine. You're fine.
Ooh, okay.
You're fine.
Don
question.
said we're all cringing just a little bit. Yeah, I'm cringing, and it's my story. Anyway, we have our first super chat of the evening. It is from Don Nishida. Don said, "Here's a little for the next John Mayer concert." Thanks, Don.
Nice.
Oh goodness. The other half of Tammy's question. Oh, hold on. Sorry, let me get caught up in the. Trev Wilson said, "This is breaking my heart." Patrick said, "Here comes a Perry pour." Before the evening's over, I cannot deny that will happen. And Bill Robarge said, "Perry's going to need counseling after this." Before, during, and after. Bill? Tammy said, "Favorite Marvel superhero because DC just can't compare."
Now, I'm wondering if I should talk about that comment, though. I mean, yes, DC films have been a little all over the place, a little lacking in direction. But Wonder Woman was good.
Wonder Woman was good.
And I enjoyed Shazam.
I have not seen Shazam yet. I will say, I still don't mind Batman v Superman. It's kind of a guilty pleasure for me.
Have you listened to the Caravan of Garbage?
I have.
Yeah, it's kind of what he said. Like, for what it is, it's fun.
It's not. Yeah,
it has its problems.
Yeah,
I mean, the whole fight can be reduced down to
the fight.
Hey, hold on, let's talk.
Hey, hold on. I also have a mama.
Yeah. Wait, my mom's name Martha. Shut up. So yeah, so
it's so disappointing that didn't cut to them recreating Step Brothers and just going, "Do we just become best friends?
Do we just become super friends?"
Yup. Anyway, who's your favorite Marvel superhero?
Probably Spider-Man. I've always been a Spider-Man fan, even with the comics. And I think why can I only think of Tobey Maguire? What's the dude's name?
Tom Holland?
Tom Holland, yeah. I was like, Tobey Maguire.
He's the only Spider-Man ever.
Yeah, Tom Holland does a great job with him.
I will say I didn't totally mind Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. Those movies were kind of garbage, but I thought he was good.
The first one was pretty good. The second one was garbage.
Second one was a on-fire dumpster.
And I didn't quite buy him as the, nerdy geek in high school. He's too attractive.
That's yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even to be awkward, he was put together. So I don't know, but yeah, Spider-Man.
Terrence Scott asks, "Do you barbecue or smoke? What do you use, and what's your favorite barbecue?"
I used to barbecue a lot more than I do now. So I don't smoke any meats. I do enjoy smoked meats.
Yeah. Yes.
I have a buddy who has a smoker, but so yeah, I really can't give too much advice in that area at the moment.
I kind of figured that was going to be the answer to that, but
I do like to grill out, But yeah, I've let my barbecuing kind of slip.
I'm excited for summer to come back around and to
Mhm.
get back into some grilling. Tony Mercury asks, Chad, that's you. Can you rank the films, including episodes 1 through the Star Wars films, rather? Um, I do like that I skipped over Star Wars and that I just said, can you rank the films?
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but if you just ranked all the films ever,
Oh, okay.
that'd be pretty impressive.
Weekend at Bernie's. That's the best. Uncle Buck.
There's no way that Weekend at Bernie's is better than Hot Rod. I mean,
I need to watch Hot Rod again. Actually,
I love Hot Rod so much.
I actually like Pop Star the most of any movie.
Never stop, never stopping.
Yeah, I think that for just the songs alone, it's so good. Oh, so good. Love that movie.
Anyway, to correct myself, can you rank the Star Wars films, including episodes 1 through 9 and all the Disney A Star Wars Story spinoffs?
Oh boy.
And there's a follow-up as well, but we'll get to that after you attempt this.
Best to worst?
Let's go worst to best.
Ugh, okay. Episode 8. Episode 9.
Oof. I didn't realize you felt that badly about episode 9.
Yeah, the more I thought about it, the worse and worse and worse.
Yeah,
worse.
I'm in the same boat.
And worse and worse and worse and worse it gets. Episode 8, episode 9, Solo.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 1?
Mm.
Or maybe 2. Episode 2. Episode 1. Episode 7. Episode 3. Rogue One. Episode 6, episode 4, episode 5.
There we go. I think I agree with that for the most part, but I'm a couple bourbons in, and I'm not entirely sure which.
Yeah, I'm glad I those names instead of trying to say, the Phantom Menace, the Attack of the Clones.
The other part of his question was, what's the best bourbon to drink during a Star Wars marathon?
That's a...
Is Yoda about to answer?
Good question, that is. What would it be? Well, when Carrie Fisher... When Carrie Fisher died, we drank Rebel Yell 10 Year in her honor because it's Rebel Yell and she was
Indeed
the ultimate rebel. So I think, Rebel Yell 10 Year, theme-wise, be a great thing to drink with the rebels.
Indeed.
A rye would be good, any rye, because it's green like Yoda, green like a lightsaber. I think a lot of E.H. Taylor's just a classic bourbon for classic movies.
I can't disagree with that.
Yeah.
Golf Whiskey said episodes 5, 4, 6. That's it. There are no others.
Well, the prequels exist now that we've seen. People are less harsh on the prequels now because it had some cheesy acting, some cheesy dialogue, but at least the story was there. And when you hear from Dave Filoni on the whatever that making of Mandalorian show that's on Disney Plus, hear Dave Filoni talk about Qui-Gon Jinn and the importance of him and how him dying in episode 1 impacted the path of Anakin so much, and you kind of unpack all of that. You're like, hold up, okay, episode 1, like at least from a
holds some weight.
Yeah, at least the stories made sense, and the only real kind of prickly spot was midi-chlorians, but it was only mentioned once, and actually it kind of goes back to the whole thing. And this is now a Star Wars live show, by the way.
This is my Star Wars podcast
about how the Jedi council or Jedi in general, most of them, besides Qui-Gon, they kind of lost their way, and they were now putting their faith in a midi-chlorian count instead of just listening to the Force to see who should be trained and who should, become Jedi. It was like they were putting too much stock in technology and trying to quantify things instead of just listening to the Force. So when you think of it that way, like, yeah, we didn't like the idea of midi-chlorians being introduced, but it wasn't to take away the magic of the Force being this big mystical thing. It was to better show how the Jedi lost their way. Like, story-wise, 1, 2, and 3, pretty sound.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Sound.
I rewatched episode 3 recently, and I really enjoyed every second of it. I mean, not to say that it was the best Star Wars movie by far, but I've really found myself getting reinvested into the characters and just the moments of world building and character building. And there's some pretty great lightsaber fights in there too.
Yeah, and at least they all had lightsaber fights.
Yeah, that's true. Terrence Scott says that episode 2 is the worst. By the way,
used to be the worst. Here comes Disney.
Arguable. Papa Ritter has shown his.
Hey, Papa Ritter.
Showing up. Hi, Papa Ritter. All right. Let's hop back to the Patreon questions. I almost asked you the Star Wars ranking episode question again.
I can't do that again.
No. Brian Brennicky asks, if Chad were an elephant, would he be an African elephant or an Asian elephant, and why? And if his trunk could hold distilled and aged spirits, would he consider moving to Indiana?
Am I missing something here?
I don't know.
Or has someone had too many already?
I was wondering the same thing. I feel like I know that reference, but I can't put my finger on what it is.
It's gonna be like African or European swallow.
I kind of anticipated that as well when I first read it.
I don't know which elephant I would be. I would hold distilled spirits in my trunk. I don't know if I would consider moving to Indiana. If I'm going to move to Indiana, I might as well just move to Kentucky.
Why? Because they're basically the same? Because that's wrong?
No, because geographically, if I'm going to go all the way to Indiana, I might as well just drop down.
Just backtrack a little bit. Yeah. You've already bought the house. You've already got the job. You've already made friends with the neighbors. And you just get there and you're like, you know what, about 300 miles that way?
Hey, nothing wrong with Indiana, but I'm a Kentuckian. With an empty glass.
Yes, let's move on to our next drink, shall we?
Sure. And what might that be?
So I wanted to bring this one back up because it's been a little divisive for me.
Oh my.
But I know that you have enjoyed it quite a bit. It kind of leads into what our final pour of the evening will be as well. Larceny Barrel Proof.
Now, I hope you're talking about the A, because I don't have the B yet.
Well, I'm all out of the A, so
you're on the B.
So I'm on the B.
Okay.
That's okay. Because I know you like the A quite a bit.
Yes.
I did not care for it as much as you did. Wow. It's not to say I didn't like it. It's just that
rank every release of Larceny Barrel Proof from best to worst. Go.
Okay, Larceny B520, number 1, Larceny A120, number 2. Boom!
Oh yeah, there's only 2.
Yeah, there's only 2. Except for all the single barrels that are out there.
But they're not barrel proof.
Well, there's single barrel proofs.
Liar.
No. There are. Remember, like, it started with the Kentucky Bourbon Festival.
Oh, yeah. I think
the Bourbon Affair.
I think that was a mistake. I think that was a whoopsie. I don't know how Liquor Barn. I only saw them at Liquor Barn.
Well, I mean, I did. Yeah, I agree. But at the same time,
I don't think those were ever really meant. But somehow it happened.
Oh, see, now this is a fantastic nose.
So is this one.
So have you had Larceny B520 yet at all?
No, I'm just a poor, mistreated bourbon drinker.
Chad Perkins,
Don't have no B520.
this is for you.
Oh, I tried.
Wow, look, you totally got that from me. That was amazing.
Hey, do you do tips and bits here
We
live?
can.
Okay, I have a
We
tip.
have. Yeah. Do you have a bit?
I could tack on a bit.
Yeah. This is topical. Donnie asked, "What does Chad think of Early Times Bottled and Bond being sold at Sazerac?"
Topical. I'm not super concerned about it. I mean, I do enjoy Early Times Bottled and Bond. I am not the biggest fan historically of Brown-Forman products. I think the fact that the Early Times was a label that was purchased by Brown-Forman and therefore used their mash bill says that there's some things in old what am I trying to think of? Forrester, that whether in the char level or the mash bill or whatever, it's it's that banana note in some of the old
Mm-hmm.
Foresters that I just personally isn't quite my flavor profile.
Yeah.
So
I agree
going
with
away
that.
from Brown-Forman isn't a huge concern to me because it's going to Sazerac, which could mean, Barton or Buffalo Trace, and name a Buffalo Trace product that is bad. I mean, besides maybe some benchmark, but a higher proof version that is bad. Even H&H 90 is a solid product, and that's a
I
36
like
month
Ancient
old
H90.
product. So if they're taking on a bottled and bond product, Early Times, I don't see how it's going to be bad. I think I'll kind of maybe miss the uniqueness of Early Times being that one of the few products in the Brown-Forman line that I really latched onto, since there are so many from Buffalo Trace or Sazerac in general, but I don't think they'll do it wrong.
I don't think so either. I think part of me is just scared of of change in this regard. Having and I am on board with you in terms of not being a big fan of Brown-Forman products in general, but I really do think that the one outlier is the Early Times Bottled and Bond. And between the quality of the whiskey in the bottle and the value of it as well,
Yeah.
I think it's just hard to beat. And we talked about it on this week's episode as well. When this inevitably goes to a Sazerac owned distillery, what are they going to do with this mash bill? Are they going to try to recreate it? Are they going to try to approximate it? What's the aging process going to be like? Are they going to pull from stock that they already have? There's so many different layers to it that I'm just not sure how it's going to fare in comparison to what is already on the shelves.
Well,
And I'm
what I
also
hope,
worried with how expensive it's going to be.
correct, because that was the whole allure of it, right? It was $22 for a liter.
Exactly.
What I hope doesn't happen to it is this,
I
where
100% agree.
where they're like, "Hey, let's rebottle it in a fancy decanter and sell it for $130 or whatever." That would not be good. I got to wonder, what is their end game with it? Why did they think, yes, this would be a good investment?
Well, Swan brought up a good point that Sazerac really doesn't have an affordable bottled and bond product on the market at this moment. But it in terms of availability.
Available, yeah, they're $17.92 bottle and bond.
But
Not a
it's not widely available.
It's not widely available. That's because everything in Buffalo Trace stops being available. I mean, you think of the E.H. Taylor, right? Bottled and Bond, single barrel, small batch,
Mhm.
but 4 years ago it was available.
Sure,
But
but
everything
the
before race just gets popular.
and if they were to release Early Times Bottled and Bond at a $40 price point, if their end game is an affordable bottle and bond, they've kind of lost that corner of the market. It feels like.
Wait, isn't all those different benchmarks? Isn't one of those a bottle and bond?
Oh, all the TTB labels that came through.
Yeah,
I think so.
I thought one was, because I was like, huh, that
Ooh,
one might actually be good because it'll be a year older and it'll be 100 proof instead of 80.
right.
So I don't know. Maybe they're just doubling up on it. I don't know.
I like this. Sazerac will put Weller juice in Early Times bottles just to mess with us. I hope not. I hope not. I honestly would like to see, if it does go to Buffalo Trace, if it does go to Barton, them really trying to replicate that product for what it is right now. Right? I think that if they do their best to approximate the mash bill and the aging process, and I can't imagine that it's too much older than 4 years old.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Especially at the price point where it is at the moment. But I am worried for the future of it, but still kind of curious as to what's going to happen with it once it actually hits the market.
What if they do something wild and it's like Early Times single barrel picks?
I'll be furious. I'll be so mad. Nick Foles, Early Times barrel proof for $109.
Yeah.
Wait, is that 109 proof or $109? I don't know what you meant with that. That's okay. Will they turn Early Times Bottled and Bond into Weller Bottled and Bond? Donnie, I don't know about that. It's an interesting postulation there. We do have other postulations as well
Mm-hmm.
from Patreon.
To me.
Patrick Starkey, hi Patrick, asks, why is Chad in denial about How I Met Your Mother being a great show, other than the final episode, that is? You don't like Ted, right?
No, I don't like the writing on the show. I don't know. It's hard for me to get behind laugh track comedies, but some I do. It's the joke a minute writing that I felt like worked on Friends and works more on Big Bang even, but just fell flat on How I Met Your Mother. I didn't think any of the jokes, they just didn't land for me. I don't know how else to describe it. And then, like, honestly, I've given it a chance. I've watched episodes. I know the personalities of the characters.
Sure.
Barney is the ladies' man, and Allison Hanning, what's her name? Allison
Hannigan.
Hannigan, yeah, and tall dude, and that's his name. Tall guy,
Marshall.
all of them, yeah. And I don't know.
Was such a whatever, yeah.
Just I don't know.
Look,
I don't know.
I understand.
I
can
don't think-
understand. Here's the thing. I can understand why you don't like it. I really do. I am one to understand faults in something like this, to the point where somebody could go, this just isn't for me.
Mhm.
But How I Met Your Mother is infinitely rewatchable for me.
But I mean, we've established on here that I do have good taste in
You do?
comedies.
Yes.
And that's just not one for me. It's just not for me.
That's okay. That's
It's just
okay.
not for me.
Piggybacking off of the previous Star Wars question from
Mhm.
Terrence Scott, Rogue One or Mandalorian, which is better and why?
Mandalorian is
Mandalorian,
better.
hands down.
Yeah, Mandalorian. It's just Rogue One was told well, it was shot well, it was acted well. Everything about it was well. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it didn't need to be told. And the unfortunate thing about it is it actually ends up hurting the impact of episode 4, the beginning, because it's action and Rogue One, that is, and Darth Vader is a badass, and he's and then here comes the intro of episode 4, which, if you're just watching episode 4 for the first time, it's amazing and expansive, and just the ship going past the camera, and then Darth Vader he's like, where are the plans that were beamed onto the ship? He just saw the ship escape. And now he's supposed to believe that we don't know what you're talking about. We're on a diplomatic mission. And like, you are rebels, and you're like, yeah, he literally just saw you get away. He saw a rebel hand another rebel a disc. There was no beaming on the ship. It was passed on. Ultimately, it hurts episode 4. And just like Solo, it was a story that didn't really need to be told. Rogue One, it was good, and it was a good story, but it didn't need to be told. And I think a lot of people are saying this. Let's do a different time period. Let's do Old Republic. Mandalorian, however, is in that time period, and this is true of a lot of TV shows, that actually gives a lot more time to characters so they can develop an arc. But it didn't do anything that was done as just like a wink to the camera. Like, this is how Han Solo got his blaster. This is how Han Solo got his last name.
That and
This is
and
how
that
Han Solo met Chewie. There's not really any of that in there. It's just good storytelling. Nami?
I know what you mean. I'm trying to reconcile my feelings towards Rogue One, because I really, as far as going,
I agree with Trevor Wilson.
that the Darth Vader scene on Rogue One was better than the entirety of Episode 9. Okay, two things. One, does the Darth Vader lightsaber scene in Rogue One save that movie for you?
No, I think it keeps me neutral, because one, I'm like, man, that is awesome. Like,
Sure.
that's what we wanted to see from Darth Vader for a long time. He is a true terror and a formidable, foe. But then on the other coin, I'm like, man, that makes episode 4 look really bad. And he's fighting, Obi-Wan, boop, 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 boop. Whereas the movie before, he's like, so it's like, yeah, that was badass. But man, especially for kids who are like going to be watching things in order, it's going to make kids who have never seen it before be like, this movie is garbage.
What happened?
The special effects are terrible.
Okay, so I agree with you on part of that, in that the action between the two doesn't line up. But I will say, though, that the intensity of Darth Vader in that scene makes me believe his frustration when he is being told that they don't know anything about the plans.
Yeah, but
I feel I can understand that.
Sure, but it also kind of
conflict
confuses it. Like,
in what way?
Just the dialogue. Plans were beamed onto the ship, and Leia's like, I don't know what you're talking about. We're on a diplomatic mission. If it was written in the order that it's chronologically, he would be like, girl, I saw your ship take off. We had you. I was there. I killed
Okay.
people. you don't give me this, you're on a diplomatic mission. You just escaped from our clutches. So don't be giving me that. You know what I mean? Like
I understand
that's
it
how
from
it
that
hurts
point of view.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it hurts it. When we're
Yeah.
left just to our imagination. And by the way, Darth Vader coming in onto the ship in the beginning of episode 4, first time we see him, used to be like the most badass entrance ever. And he got a much better entrance at the end. Not that was the first time we saw him, but like that really waters down the first time the audience is supposed to see him in episode 4. Really waters it down.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I still love that.
Yeah, it's great.
scene
See,
with him.
that's a problem with carrying on beloved franchises. Is like, and with the sequel trilogy, it's like we've got to up the stakes. Now there's this power, and this person is this more powerful, and then then this person's even more evil than before, and the army's even bigger. And forget about this first order stuff. Here's Palpatine's army. So I guess we'll just completely forget about the whole First Order reigning supreme, because here's Palpatine's army for
so would you prefer the First Order over the Trade Federation then?
Trade Federation of the prequels?
Yes.
No. I mean, so you're saying the First Order being in 1, 2, and 3?
Yes.
I mean, maybe if it was the beginnings of the Empire, I guess that could have been a thing. The the Trade Federation was kind of a little snooze fest with all the bureaucracy.
It was frustrating, yeah,
and everything. Yeah, sure, but yeah.
There's a lot going on in the chat, by the way. Bill asks, do we need the Hop-Ons podcast to chime in? I would love to get John and Colin on here at some point. Trev asks, can we just get together once quarantine is over and talk Star Wars all night? Because I can debate this in depth for a lot longer. Please.
Yeah.
Please. I
kind of need to get some things out.
We never did do our episode 9 episode of this My Bourbon podcast, so we'll do that eventually. Patrick said, but episode 4 still has the stormtrooper smashing his head on the door,
which is awesome. I'm glad they put that sound effect in. Dunk.
Yes. Best re-edit on a Lucas Star Wars. Period. All right, we are kind of getting down to the wire here. I don't want to go over too much so that Clifton's stream, we can all hop over there and have a good time too. Eric Smith asked, what is the last anime you watched? And it can't be Dragon Ball Z.
Do commercials for anime count?
Nope.
Then I couldn't tell you.
Then nothing. Okay, cool.
I'm not an anime fan. I'm sorry.
The
way the mouths have 2 positions opened or closed kind of bugs me. I'm sorry if that upsets anyone.
I could get
it. I know there is a lot of hardcore anime fans out there, and I'm not saying anything disparaging about it. I'm just saying I just never got into anime. That's all.
Off-air conversation. Okay. Steven Sussman has 2 questions that's going to round us out. He says, what song would your favorite bourbon be, or non-bourbon related? What is your go-to fast food breakfast? He also asks, what's your top 5 chicken nugget spots?
Okay. Was that first part again?
What song would your favorite bourbon be? This is a tough one. This is like first semester graphic design school.
I think it would be Don't Stop Believing, because you got to believe in bourbon.
Amen to that.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, that's it. Yeah.
What was the other part?
Oh, sorry. Non-bourbon related. What is your go-to fast food breakfast?
Fast food breakfast. I do like the Chick-fil-A breakfast. The chicken biscuit is rather good. Perry is disagreeing with
Because clearly you've never had the Wendy's breakfast.
Well, I wasn't done.
Oh, okay, sorry.
The Wendy's breakfast is good. It's Rick and Morty approved. Chicken biscuit brawler or bruiser, I forget. Honestly, don't do a whole lot of fast food breakfast anymore, though.
I don't really either.
Actually, I liked the Taco Bell breakfast when they had it. That was pretty tasty. I forget.
I love Taco Bell.
It was like a taco that was made out of an egg or something, and they had, I think they had tots or something.
But the crunch wrap, the breakfast crunch wrap.
Oh yeah,
where it's at.
Yeah, true.
Okay, real quick, if you can, top 5 chicken nugget spots.
Spots? What do you mean spots?
Like
places to get them?
Yeah.
Places to get them. Okay. Yes. Chicken nuggets. Do chicken fingers count in this question?
I'm going to allow it based on time.
Okay. Is Joella's a chain or is that just around here?
I don't know. I was thinking about that the other day because I freaking love Joella's.
Is really good. But you know what? I like Arby's chicken fingers actually.
Yeah.
Hardee's chicken fingers. Hardee's has good chicken fingers. I like their honey mustard. It's you gotta have a good honey mustard. I mean, that's come on.
I did a homemade honey mustard the other day.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to like bottle some for you or something because it was chef's kiss.
Okay.
Delicious.
I would like to try that. Yes.
I will do that for you.
Very good. Yeah, so I know that's not 5, but use your imagination.
Yeah. As far as nuggets go, I guess like Wendy's is probably at the top.
Yeah, Wendy's. Yeah, I mean, see, I don't even think of those as nuggets. They're just like their own little category. They're much better than McDonald's. I mean,
yeah, totally.
I wouldn't even put McDonald's on the list. But yeah, Wendy's chicken nuggets they don't really have a good honey mustard, but they do have a honey, and
which you can add to the mustard.
Well, no, I just do the honey, or like a fry, dip it in your Frosty.
Oh,
Say no more. Chad. Say no more.
Usually it's Sarah that's going, I need some Wendy's after this, but
yeah,
Wendy's might be in my future. Either way, thank you all so much for hanging out with us tonight. I know we're going a little bit over. I appreciate you guys sticking around. We are all going to hop over to the Bourbon Bites stream, of course, here in just a minute. Chad, thank you so much for being here. Of course, it's been a while since you've been on a live stream. The last time I think was about like a week after we moved into this house, and the room was much emptier than it is at the moment. I haven't shown you, but basically all my bottles are on the floor, except for the few that are hanging out in the cabinet behind me.
I feel you there.
Yeah. Anyway, where can people find you, of course, on social media?
Well, the best place is YouTube. .com/itsbourbonite. Instagram is at It's Bourbonite. Patreon.com/itsbourbonite and whiskeyambitions.com are the best places.
Yes, and you can find Glencairns much like these.
That's true.
Drink out of once and then put off to the side. Anyway, you can follow the show, of course, at My Bourbon Pod on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you become a patron of the show at patreon.com/My Bourbon Podcast for as little as $1 a month. Thank you all so much for tuning in to TIMBP Live for another Thursday evening. We'll see you guys next week. But until then, I'm Perry. That's Chad. And that's it. Bye.
That's the show.
That's it.